Well, welcome everyone, and thank you to our next session, mini training session for the Digital Dash. Quick programming note. Originally, this element was titled alt text for all image elements contains all text in the image unless the text is decorative or appears elsewhere in the document. However, since the Digital Dash started and several agencies submitted this check as one of their top 5 issues, there's been several changes made to the optimized system, including this accessibility check now has a much more human-friendly name. So within your optimized dashboard, you may not be seeing the very large, long text description that this one was titled as. Instead, you get the much more human-friendly name, text in images. So as you're using Optimize, if you are looking for this particular error, you may see it listed under the two-way section as text and images, as opposed to the kind of the longer, less friendly name. So with that, and the purpose remains the same, it's just a title change to make it more human friendly. But with that, we are going to follow the same pattern we did previously. With time constraints, we ask you to please post any questions into the Google Meet chat. After the session is over, we will draft answers and send them out to everyone who participated in today's call. We'll also be posting the answers and a link to the video recording of today's channel or session to the digital accessibility chat space. And finally, we will add the questions and answers to the FAQ section in the handbook. So with that, I am turning it over to today's speaker, Alex Taladin with the Digital Solutions Office. Alex, take it away.
Hey, good morning, everyone. There was just a slight change with me and Justin were discussing this morning. So when I created this presentation, I was actually trying to present using that long text where it says alt text for all image elements contains all text in the image unless the image is decorative or appear elsewhere in the document. So that original text, that thing had a lot of stuff to unpack. So we're going to keep this simple and just talk about text in images. So if you have images on your website, technically you need to have alt text to them. So alt text, also known as alternative text, is a short descriptive phrase that appears in place of an image when it's not able to be displayed or when a screen reader reads the page a lot. So why do we do this? Why do we add alt text? This allows users who rely on screen readers to understand the content of an image. And this alt text will also display if the image fails to load or if the file is missing on your site for some reason. So there's multiple reasons why we do that, but in today's thing, we were actually just using it for accessibility purposes, so it will be a lot more user-friendly. So how do we write alt text? So there's 3 things that you have to keep in mind when we write alt text. You want to be accurate, and concise. You need to consider context, and you want to avoid redundancy. So when you're trying to be accurate and concise, you want to describe the image content clearly and succinctly, and you want to focus on the essential information. The primary goal is to ensure that users with assistive technologies can understand the core information of the image. You want to avoid unnecessary details or subjective interpretations. Keep it short, usually 1 to 2 sentences. And don't overthink it. And the alt text also with a period, because I think the screen readers like those. Consider context as well. The alt text should make sense in the context of the surrounding text and the overall purpose of the page. Consider key elements and why you chose that image instead of describing every little detail. And then you want to avoid redundancy. Don't repeat the information that's already present in the surrounding text. And this could be an indication that your image is decorative. So decorative images is a whole different topic, and we're not going to cover that today because it'll be too long. So how to write alt text. These are examples of things that you could write. this is a photo of a bunch of college students. So if this is a photo, you can just write group of young college students laugh and walk along a tree-lined pathway. So this is kind of like an example of an alt text that you would use for an image. And essentially, you're just describing the image itself for somebody that can't see it. This is another image that you would need to use an alt text for. It's an icon, but you would need to put the alt text of the function of that icon, just so that people will know that this thing is a usable thing. So these are examples of images that have text on them. When you're trying to decide if your image, do I have to add alt text to this thing, and how did that, is this an image with text? If you see text on the image right there, you would need to add alt text to them. And again, unless the image is decorative. Most of the image that you will be using that has text on them would be like infographics and diagrams. Usually these are stuff that are like maps or stuff that are graphics of like successes with percentages on them, or something with a quote or something with that. Those images are the ones that you want to consider to add alt text and add context to them, so that so people with assistive technologies can actually understand what that image is about. So those things you have to kind of consider when using, when you're determining that you need to do, you have to add alt text to an image. So when we're doing this on, when we're doing the checks and Acquia Optimize for stuff like this, like Justin was saying, let me just switch. How do I switch presentations? Wait, are you the one presenting, Justin?
You can do it if you'd like, or you
Okay.
can pull it over.
All right. So when we're doing our Acquia Optimize checks, this is now a double, this is now a double A check, right?
Correct.
So it's not on level A. This is now on the purple one. So this is the error that we're looking at. Images of text. And if we look at it, these are basically the page. And one of the ways you could actually check for your image is if you have your browser extension downloaded to your browser, you can click on the magnifying glass. And this extension will open for you. So
You may need to open that page directly first. And
oh, there you go. Sorry. So there's a browser extension for Acquia Optimize that you can download. It when you click on the magnifying glass on the Optimize tool, the tool will open up the page that has this error and will display these things for you. Where is that? Which one is there? And it will show you all of the failing checks on this thing. And we are looking for images as text. And all of these things essentially will start showing up on your site. So these are the things that you're looking for. These are the images of text issues. And you can click at the magnifying glass and it will show you. So like I click that and it's basically showing me this image has issues. This image has issues, or that image has issues. So the extension is a really good tool for you to have because it's a much more visual tool for you to check your pages instead of switching from, just doing it from the Acquia Optimize tool. So I would urge you guys, if you haven't downloaded the extension, that you should download it, because it's a lot easier. It'll give you guys a lot easier time to check your pages, especially with stuff like this, when you have to go through from one image to another. Let's go back. So how do you fix these images? You have to determine if the image is decorative or not. So I don't think we'll have enough time to talk about decorative images, but decorative images, in essence, is an image that you as a content author determines that this image is not for the user, or it has no relevant information for you, for the user, so you can essentially just skip it. So one way to skip that is, instead of adding alt text, you just add quotation marks instead, the two things instead of a descriptor, and the screen reader will essentially skip that image. And you basically have to make a determination if there is text on the image. So if you make the determination that there is text, then yes, you might need to add the descriptor of that image in as alt text to it. If you have a media library inside your content management system, that will be a good way for you to just go through some of the images and just see if some of them have alt text or not. And make sure that you avoid generic descriptions as well. So in this slide, I actually have resources and tools. These resources and tools are also available in the handbook. The alt decision tree link is actually a really good one, because it helps you determine if this image is decorative or not. I'd urge you guys to look at that. It'll talk to you more about decorative images. There's also a video on how to fix the alt text error. And then the handbook has all of these other resources that you can go through and look for, and essentially just see how you can actually fix some of these. So I think that's all I have for today. Justin, do you want to talk about the next session?
Yeah, and so in particular, I'd like to remind everyone we will be sending out your questions later today. So if you do have questions, please go ahead and post them into the chat so that we make sure we don't lose track of those. And we'll also, of course, send out the recording of this session to everyone. If you could switch to the next slide there, Alex. We've got a couple of additional sessions coming up next week. On the 13th, next Tuesday, we'll be reviewing sound files, must-have text transcripts, and be going through some of the tools to help create text transcripts for all of your sound and video files. And then we're going to switch into a series of checks about dealing with data tables and some of the common accessibility problems we see with data tables. So with that, hopefully everybody has access to the training calendar down at the bottom. If any of these checks are checks that you're having a problem with on your site, or you're wanting to know how to quickly use the browser extension or other tools to mark these items as reviewed once you've verified that they have passed the check, please make sure to add these to your calendar. With that, I want to thank everybody for attending. And if you have more questions, go ahead and post them in the chat, and we'll make sure to answer those later today. So thank you all very much for attending.